You are in Kaduna State, where a curfew has been imposed due to the fact that the protest degenerated into violence. Briefly assess for us, what's the situation on ground now?
Well, let me use the word of Karl Marx as advanced to me by one of my professors in the university. He said that Karl Marx, as quoted, said that the material consideration of human being is being determined by the state of his consciousness. So in this case, I just left Kano to be in Kaduna. I've been in Kano for the past 3 days. And what I saw was almost similar to that of what is happening in Kaduna. Now, let us consider the issues therein. For the first time in the North, they are involved in socio-economic protests. I repeat, they are involved in socio-economic protests. They have never been involved in protests of this nature because most of the time they either go on protests as regard to the issue of ethnicity or issue of tribalism or issue of religion. But for the first time, they are involved in socio-economic protests. Now you want to ask the questions, why? In Kano, it's a commercial city, and then normally you have hundreds of trailers coming in and out of Kano, and the youths are involved in businesses. And the borders from Katsina, Yobe, and Maiduguri, Chad, and the rest of them comes in. The relationship we had with Niger was also part of this particular in and outflow of commercial activities. But these commercial activities now has completely come to almost a halt. And so the lives of the people are being affected. Of course, that dovetails also into Kaduna as the rest of them. So here we are. We have a big challenge as regard to the economic survival of this particular large number of human beings. But we have not been able to do something as regard to the issues of this particular economic downturn. I heard that some people are saying that it is a world order and the rest of them. But the truth about it is that we are a rich nation where our boys and girls are hearing that most of the money belonging to them is being carted away by their political leaders who have found themselves in position of power. That ignites and anger them. It is not fair when you are talking about majority of the people who they voted for are the ones enjoying the loot of the country at their own detriment. These are the things that ignite such protests. But it is good. I remember I made an interview some couple of weeks even before this particular protest started. I've never seen where a protest will be advanced, notice of protest will be advanced to a government for almost a month, and the government did not take precise position and deal with the issues immediately without allowing it to degenerate to this particular level. Unfortunately, this government itself have been involved in sponsoring, advancing and sponsoring protests, including Mr. President himself, has been allegedly said to be sponsoring protests, even making pronouncement of protests. Nobody. Right. Nobody has threatened him. Nobody has arrested him. And here we are today. Not only him, we are having the service chiefs, all of them, accusing and intimidating the Nigerian people who they're supposed to protect, and raising issues and saying that they are being warned. Rather than showing concern for their needs, you are putting a threat on them. That aggravates the matter instead of solving the problem. Had it been that the government of the day, and including Mr. President, have been able to make one single pronouncement, and that pronouncement will have been, we are bringing the prices of PMS, the product that causes all of this problem, bringing it down to 200, possibly we wouldn't have had this particular progress.
Okay, Dr. Yunusa, so there has been curfew imposed in Borno, Yobe, Kano, Kaduna. So that means the people are no longer able to protest. So at the end of the day, they did make their point, but they weren't able to finish the 10-day protest organized for the entire country. How are people feeling about that?
Let me make this clear. The protest did not stop, but the people were denied the right to their constitutional right, which is, of course, on its own treasonable. Because when you deny people to perform their constitutional right, you are going against the Constitution. That is, the constitutional provision says that they have a right to protest as long as it will be done within the provision of law. These people have also come out and accused the government of sponsoring thugs, which was captured on camera in Lagos. I saw it, and then nobody did anything against those particular persons who caused mayhem. But the truth about it is that we cannot continue to stifle and deny the people the right to ventilate their anger. The more we do that, we are only aggravating the issues. If you have allowed them to exhaust their 10 days, there will not be any days again for them to take part in any protest. But you, by denying them and strengthening, or what would I use the word, you are aggravating the matter and even threatening them. In this case, what it means is that you are telling them to go back and regroup. Rather than deal with the issues that they raise. Nobody has raised, they have dealt with the issues that they've raised, not a single one, including Mr. President. He has not dealt with one single issue that they raised. And that does not help the matter. We can only advance suggestions that can help ameliorate the matter, the case. But if you continue to deny these youth and telling them what they ought not to do or what they should do, you are only aggravating the matter. Let me make this point clear again. This is democracy. Democracy as defined is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. It did not mention any single person. It said by the people, for the people. And that means that if the people who assumedly voted for you are saying this is what their demands are, it's only fair and logical that you, as the leader who they gave to you in trust, listen to them and act according to what they are requesting for. Not for you to do what you want to do as a person, but you are to do what the people want. Once you do that, then you are free. Let me also make this statement. Had it been that Mr. President, who had the very good opportunity of yesterday,
Dr. Yunusa, let me come in here.
You have reduced these prices.
Right. Let me come in here, please. So the head of immigration, the head of immigration today, you've seen a flurry of the briefings by security agencies between yesterday and today. And the head of immigration has said that they've identified some Nigerians in the diaspora who are sponsoring the protests. They've frozen their accounts. They've put them on a watch list. If they attempt to enter Nigeria, they will arrest them. What do you make of that? Because everywhere in the world, people sponsor protests. There are organizers. What do you think about this move?
That is why I said, if there were arrests to be made, I wonder if Mr. President himself was arrested when he sponsored protests. Nobody touched him. Nobody said anything, and he has not debunked that he never sponsored protests. So if you are now denying the Nigerian people who have been sending and supporting their children and their brothers and sisters back home, and you are threatening them with arrest, then you do not need to call them again to come back home. When you're usually telling them to come back, some of our best brains are outside this country. Some of our best brains are outside this country. And all of the things that they have always asked for is for our country to be better so that they can come and contribute. You talk about technocrats, doctors, surgeons, everything that you businessmen, they are outside the country. They are even living by the minute. Does that mean that we are trying to exercise our people from outside the country? If there are verifiable facts so that there will not be any phantom arrest, because in the case of this nature, there could be phantom arrest and agreement that this particular person or certain people of different extraction or different tribe could be the subject of targets. Could be the subject of target, and that would not be good for us. So I think that particular position that the government is trying to take is another mistake that may aggravate the matter, rather than providing solution to the problem.
Right.
The government has the right to deal with this issue immediately. And that issue will be dealt with if Mr. President can come out and say, ladies and gentlemen, please and please, I know you voted for me as the case may be, but I'm bringing the fuel prices down. The next minute, this night, not tomorrow, you will see demonstration or protest of joy, not the protest of anger.
What do you make of this Russian flag that has been hoisted? The security chiefs say it's treasonable, it amounts to subversion and attack on the sovereignty of Nigeria. What are you hearing since you're on the ground? And I'm sure you have relations, you've talked to people over there in the north.
Well, I really don't understand what the issue of the flag was and all, because I tried to tell you, some are saying that it is the Nigerian military flag that they were hosting, not Nigerian, not Russian flag. I wish I had the interview, I recorded it. Then if you look at the president, he was hosting both Nigerian flag and the military flag by the right hand side, and they have similar colors. And they said that was what they were hosting. It was not a Russian flag. But be as it may, it will be wrong for any group of persons to host another country flag in our country, because our country is a sovereign national country that all of us are proud of. I can tell you this. Nigerians are very proud of Nigeria at any point in time. Even in the middle of hardship, what is pushing them to do all of this is for them to say, look, we are looking for succor. If Mr. President comes out and says, look, you are my children, they are this Nigeria is my country. Okay, from your demand, out of 5 or 6, let us deal with 3 and then look at how we can deal with it. They will hail Mr. President. Nigerians, they are not too gullible. They only ask for these little indices for survival. Once that is done for them, I can tell you they will be happy. Unfortunately for us, the most treasonable action that's supposed to be meted on other individuals is not actually the Nigerian citizen. It's actually those who have put them in perpetual poverty. Those are the ones that are supposed to be held for treasonable offense, not the Nigerian people.
So the Nigerian army has specifically said that there are those that are attempting to overthrow a constitutionally elected or democratically elected government. Is that allegation far-fetched? And how do you see the handling of the protest by the government so far?
You see, the thing is that we are in a democracy. As Democrats, we can never support any coup. We can never. We will never, because we knew how well we fought for this particular democracy. But what we will not accept is that for some certain few people to put democracy in danger. Because majority of our people benefit directly from democracy. If not for anything, you have your voice to speak. And that was the voice that they are trying to exemplify, or at least amplify in the public domain. That is democracy. So Nigerians love democracy, but it must be done right. And our leaders should know that they are only responsible to the people, not to themselves. And what is angering most of the Nigerian people is that most of our leaders are only interested in themselves alone. Alone. Let us imagine. While we are talking about how to move from point A to point B, most of our leaders fly by plane. They don't care about how the people go by from roads. Even the train was hijacked at a particular point in time. Here in the north, people cannot go to their farms. And we are hungry because there was insecurity in the northern part of the country. These are things that aggravate people. You need to show concern.
What's your last message to Nigerians and to the government, very briefly?
My message is just simple. Mr. President, don't be egoistic. Don't sit on that particular chair and feel that nothing can happen to you. If anybody cannot do you anything, the God can do you something. This is a golden opportunity for Mr. President and the people who are advising Mr. President. The government, if you come down and tell the people that I'm taking care of 2, 3 things of that demand, you have not failed. What you have done is that you have been magnanimous in your decision as a president. Help the people. The people need help. And you must do it now before it is too late. May God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.